Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the CSITEd Experts Data Science A to Z Bootcamp. In this video, I will discuss how to read data from data file, mainly from a CSV or from an Excel file. It is an important step of data pre-processing. So let's start. In Python, there is a library is called pandas, pandas. So let us import that. Just import pandas as pd. Okay, so this pandas library is used to import data from a data file, and in order to do some other operations that for matrix operation and many other operations. So this statement here, it says file location equal to, this is my file name, and in order to do this, actually first of all you need to select your folder over here. By clicking your folder, you need to select your folder, your file and path. What is your file or path? File path is located, so you have to select folder. So once you click this, then this lines means is my data file is imported. Okay, so this is a dummy salary data.csv file. Okay, so this is just a string, so file location is just now a string. So in Python, so we can define a string with a double quotation or also in a single quotation. Then this line of statements, okay, these two lines, okay, this line, it will assign my data set. Okay, so pandas has a library called read underscore CSV. So you will see that like this way. If you click, let me do this way. If you say pd dot, then as soon as you click on dot, then you will see there are some methods. This is the list of the methods that the pd library has. So one of the methods is read. So it has read CSV, read Excel, okay, and read HTML, read JSON. Okay, so we will use CSV, read underscore CSV, in order to read data from a CSV file. If my file is an Excel file, then I will use this one. Okay, so this is my code. Okay, so let me inspect read CSV just by select one and press Ctrl plus enter. Then you will see the format and definition and format of read CSV file. It has a few argument list. So first one is the file path. Okay, this file path can be a real file path, or it can be a web URL. So okay, so if you set up your file path here, then you can just give the name of the file path. Otherwise, you can do this way. You can write your entire file location right this way, or so you need remember that here you need to give double backslash, because in programming languages, so in string, in order to get a single single backslash, you have to give double backslash. So remember that you have to give double backslash, so it will work. So you can do this way. If you do not do this way, it will also work. Okay, or you can do in Mac or also in Windows. You can use single forward slash. Okay, so the single forward slash, it works both ways. So either single forward slash or two backslashes will work. Okay, so then this is my course. Let me run it again. So as soon as I execute this line of code, I will get this is my data set. You see this type is frame, data frame. Okay, so here you see that it has 50 comma 2 means it has 50 columns and 2 row 50 rows and 2 columns. 50 rows and 2 columns actually is kind of matrix, and in addition to these 2 columns, it has an additional frames column. This is called index. We will not use this index column. You see that index starts from 0. So since I have 50 rows over here, so the last index should be 49. Okay, and this data are shown here by default in ascending order. Okay, so here once I get my data set, actually like this kind of matrix, then I can assign data matrix. So my data matrix will be my data set name dot ilog. Okay, and then is colon means all rows, and this is here, it means column. So 0 means first column, and then colon 2 means column. Actually it will go from columns 0 and 1. 2 is not included, so 2 is excluded. So that means it is like actually like this. It is like 0 is included and 2 is excluded. Okay, so then I will get my data matrix. So as soon as I press Ctrl plus enter, please give attention what you see here. You see that my data matrix is created. So this is type float. Data matrix type is float 64, and it has 50 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so it has 50 rows and 2 columns. So what is the difference between these data matrix and this data set? Let us open both side by side. You see that apparently these are same almost, but the difference is that in the data frame it has an extra index column, but it does not have index column. The matrix does not have index column, but the matrix has the column index 0 and 1. So this is the 0 means the first column, and 1 means the second column. Okay, so remember this. Okay, so I can close this now. So I have this matrix, right? So now I can assign this column, I can as a vector, and this column as a vector. So I can assign these two these individual columns as individual vectors, or I can assign these a combination of these two columns as another submatrix. So how do I assign a vector over here? So you see that I will do my expression matrix. So it will be so here, so actually it will be here. So let me see, click data set. This is my data set. Okay, then ilog. If I use ilog, then I will use this integer index of the column. So once I click this, once I select and execute this, so you see that I have this here. I got so experience matrix. Okay, so you see that I got experience matrix. It has 50 row and 1 column, 50 row and 1 column, and the you see that 0 is the index of this column. And similarly I can assign my salary matrix as, so it is taking the second column of my data matrix. So this is my salary matrix, it will be like this, and this is my data matrix. So actually the second column is this column, is actually this column here. So you see side by side all of these values are same. Okay, so now these are matrix, these are matrices. This is matrix, this is kind of matrix, this is matrix, this is matrix. How do we know that? This is a row, it has row and column. Now so if I print my experience matrix, then you will see that my experience matrix value is like this. Okay, sometime, okay. And then my column matrix, if I print it here, it will be here. I can print this actually on my console over here also. If I type in here and then press enter, then I will get this. Actually it's, let me go on the top, you see that it is showing as an array. Okay, but don't be misleaded. Okay, okay, by seeing the array. Now we see that I have this here as a this here as, this is a matrix and this is a matrix. Okay, but now if I assign, this is a range over here. Okay, remember that this is a range and this is a range. So 0 to 1 is, since 1 is excluded, so 0 to 1 means only one column, and 1 to 2, but 2 is excluded, so that means this is only one column. But now that, remember, and please give attention here, you see that if I say my only one, this colon means all rows. Okay, all rows and all 50 rows, and this, if I say only 0, then it will become a vector with the first column, all rows with first column, and all rows of second column. Second column has index 1. So actually this is my data set. It is coming from my data set is this one, data from, this is data from over here. So if I execute these two statements, okay, then I got my experience. This is a vector. You see that my experience vector is over here. It is showing only 50. It does not show any column. So you see the difference between these, okay, experience matrix and experience vector. Let me show you side by side. Do you see any difference here? Okay, so exactly these are looking same, exactly these are looking same, but these are not same. Okay, so this is a 50 by 1 column matrix, and this is a 50 by 1 column vector. Remember that a vector is always one column, a vector has always one column. So now if I print my experience vector either here, okay, then you see that I am getting as like this way is all rows in one row right over here. But previously how did I see my vector over here or matrix over here? So in all multiple see rows, right? So difference over here. So now also similarly I can print over here. So I can, if I give the print command, then actually you see that I'm printing size over here. So actually print commands are here. So my experience vector, you see that I got from here. So but here if I print like this way in my program, then it is not showing the error, the array. It was showing previously, it was showing array, it does not show this. Okay, so this is a way to assign vector, to extract vector from a matrix, from a data matrix. Okay, there is another way, so that we will frequently use this way as well. As if I see my experience vector, so here in this line I extracted my experience vector 1 from my data set, that was a data frame, right? So how did I extract? So I use iloc method, the iloc method that I used. If I inspect it, there is no documentation over here, but on the Google sheet you can on the Google, you can do Google it, you can do a Google search and you can see iloc and lock method, and you can learn. In one of my previous videos I discussed about iloc and lock methods in detail. Okay, but now what I'm going to discuss here, you see that I extracted my experience vector 1 from my data set, but I can extract my vector from my data matrix as well. As how do I extract that? So this is a simple way. See that if I want to extract my vector, any vector from my data matrix, what is my data matrix? My data matrix is a 50 by 50 rows by 2 column matrix, right? So if I want to assign this column as a vector, experience vector, then I will use all rows, that means colon, comma 0 means this is the index of the first column, so I will put 0. And similarly, if I want to assign salary vector 2 as from my this column, then I will use data matrix, okay, call data matrix colon, this is okay, colon means all rows and 1 means this is the index of this column. Okay, so now I will show, then if I get this way, if I run, then let me show you the difference between, do you see any difference between this experience vector 1 and experience vector 2? My experience vector 1, you see that apparently these are same, exactly same, right? These are exactly, now this time these are exactly same. My experience vector 1 this way and my experience vector 2 this way. I got two different ways, but all of these values are exactly same, and I can do same operation on either one vector, experience vector 1 or experience vector 2. What are the operations I can do? I can get experience vector dot size, I will get size 50, or I can, with this size I can execute an for loop. So this is my for loop. So even if I use my experience vector 2 over here instead of 1, then if I use 2 vector over here, then you see that I am getting same result, exactly same. There is no difference in programming. So sometime you will see that we will extract our vector from the data matrix or from the data frame. Okay, so please remember these two important difference between these two formats. So then once I have this, then I can easily do any kind of operation. For instance, I can see if the experience all, I can display all from my experience vector for which experience is less than 2. So these people have experience less than 2, and I can see all people who have experience greater than 8. So that means greater than 8 means it has 8 point something, 8 point something, because you see this my matrix, these are fluid, it has something 8.0, 8 point something, 8.1 and something. So okay, so now try it yourself. We have another data, we have another dummy Titanic data CSV file in this folder, actually in this location. So let me open that one. Okay, this is my Titanic dummy Titanic data.csv, dummy Titanic data.csv. Okay, so in this file it is your homework, practice with this dummy file. So read the Titanic data set, it should work. Read the Titanic data set. You see it has 2,436 rows and 8 columns. Now you can get Titanic data matrix like this way. So here, since my Titanic data set at 8 columns, that means this is my first column, this is second column, third column, this is the index of first column, second column, third column, fourth column. You see that fourth column has index 3, and then last column is 8 column has index 7, because in Python column indices start from 0. Okay, so there is no, if you cannot give 8 over here, you cannot get 9 over here, you cannot give 9 over here, because this will go out of array index. So if I run it, it will show me an error. Actually it should show me an error. Okay, okay, and then I can get survival status, that is the column second column, and my ticket. Let me show you my Titanic data set, data matrix Titanic data set is this one, it has 8 columns. Okay, so now you see my serial, this one I have serial number, this column has index 0 and is at index 1, it has index 2, it has index 3, and age has index, okay, 4 and 5, 6, 7, and ticket fare has index 7. So I can use the iloc method, okay, to put the index like this way, or I can use lock method to give the like name, actually like this way, a index name, and I can print. So do this way and do this practice yourself, please. This should be simple enough. In also in one of my previous videos I showed how to I discussed the iloc and lock method uh, in more detail. Also remember that if I want to read from my Excel file, so this is my Excel file, then I can use a read Excel. I can read Excel. Or also if I know my web URL, then I can put my web URL like this way, and this will work. So if you know any web URL, web address of your data file, then you can give web URL. That means maybe if you have your data in a Google Drive, you can give your data set over here, or you can also give a shortcut URL like this way. So practice this yourself. You know, the practice makes a man and woman perfect. So unless you practice yourself, you may not be a good programmer. You will not be a good programmer. So definitely there is no alternative practice. So you should do practice. And if you get my folder, this my from my GitHub account, and this is my GitHub account, data science A to Z. and then if you download this folder and if you open like teaching resources like this one, maybe selected multiple yes, the selecting multiple rows and columns. So actually then this web documentation has more detail about the lock and iLock method that I discussed in one of my previous videos, maybe one of my previous videos. So please practice this, and thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.